What is it that you do to keep the Sabbath? In the Bible, we have the guidelines that God gives us in order to keep His day holy. Because as mankind, we cannot make anything holy. We can only keep holy what God has already made holy. And regarding how to keep the Sabbath holy, my favorite text is here in Isaiah 58. God says, if you will turn away your foot from the Sabbath, from doing your pleasure on His holy day, we call the Sabbath a delight. We admit that the Sabbath is the holy day of the Lord, not Sunday or any other day of the week. If we call the Sabbath honorable, not doing our ways, not doing our pleasure, not having just any everyday conversation, then we will delight ourselves in the Lord. You see, the Sabbath, sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, is God's day. Not only does this text say that Sabbath is the Lord's day, but Matthew 12, Mark 2, and Luke 6. And on this day, God calls us to a higher standard of living and accountability. It's the day that God has set aside for us to seek Jesus more fully. And those who truly love Jesus will see the delight that the Sabbath is. We're not going to go to work. We're not going to go shopping. We're not going to go to the movies. We're not going to speak about those things on the Sabbath because those aren't holy topics of conversation. You see, daily, every morning, every evening, at a minimum, we are to be seeking Jesus. But Sunday through Friday, we have work to do. We got to go to our jobs to pay the bills. But the Sabbath is different. The Sabbath is that 24-hour period that you can have uninterrupted time with Jesus. You don't have to worry about work or anything secular. Not only are we to rest, but we are not to cause anybody else to work. So we're not going to go out to eat on the Sabbath either. Or we're not going to take our car to get an oil change or things like that. Because doing so would cause them to sin, and because causing them to sin, we're sinning. Jesus wants us to keep the Sabbath as a reminder of what He has rescued us from. He has rescued us from the slavery to sin. And the example of Jesus is that He also went to church on the Sabbath. He healed on the Sabbath. He did Bible studies, He did preaching, He did evangelism on the Sabbath. Now, if you are a doctor or a nurse or something like that, then those works of healing are in perfect harmony with the Sabbath. And what some medical professionals will do is they will take that money they earn on the Sabbath and give it to the church. Jesus also talked about how there may be emergencies that you will have to take care of on the Sabbath. So if someone you know has an emergency and they need to go to the doctor on the Sabbath, or maybe you're on the way to church on Sabbath and you get a flat tire, but even when those emergencies happen, we still need to be putting Jesus first because it is the Sabbath. And for anybody who watches my videos consistently, remember, it's about love. If we truly love Jesus, we're going to keep the Sabbath. And we're going to keep it His way.